So today I wanted to get on here and talk about cycles and repeating negative patterns in your life that people are always like, why is this happening to me? Why do I keep dating guys like this? Why are all my bosses like this? Like, yeah, why? And a lot of the times what we tend to do is we will find ourselves in the similar situation that we were in before and blame the other person and be like, yeah, like they're like this or they're like this, or not realizing that we're the common denominator in these situations that we're in and not taking accountability. And when you don't take accountability for yourself, that's when you find yourself, like I said, repeating these over and over and over again. And essentially you're running. You're running because you're not stopping and looking in the mirror and being like, okay, it's me. It's me. Like, this is me choosing this type of person. Like, this is me still staying in this lifestyle. Like, this is me still doing this because it's so much easier for people. I don't think it's easier because it literally keeps you stuck, but it's easier for some people who are not self-aware to just point the finger at the other person and not take accountability and actually change. And essentially what you're doing when you continuously just find yourself in the same types of relationships or the same types of patterns or the same types of things is you're running from yourself. You're running from not only taking accountability, but from facing yourself, from facing your pain, from facing your traumas, from facing the reasons that subconsciously keep attracting these types of people to you, or like subconsciously keep attaching you to these similar circumstances that just hurt you so much. Like, you know it's hurting you, you know you're not feeling good, but you just cannot get away from it. You keep being drawn to it. And I have so much experience with this because I was a chronic runner. Freaking track star. And it's because when I was younger, I was never taught how to deal with my emotions. I was not taught how to handle deep, heavy emotions, sad emotions. Like, I was taught, I grew up in a family where we just like swept it under the rug, and like that rug freaking piled up. All this shit was still there, like it didn't change it, and we just swept under the rug or just like put on a facade to everybody else. Like, everything was perfect, like nothing needed to change, nothing needed to like, we didn't need to fix anything. Let's just pretend like it never happened, right? And the fault with that is that things build up and things compound over time, and pain compounds over time, and drama compounds over time, and bad relationships and toxicity, and it compounds over time, and it just keeps getting weighed heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And that's why a lot of people turn to addictions. They turn to substance abuse, and it's not just the main ones people are talking about. It could be overworking, it could be shopping, it could be gaming, it could just be serial dating, like not letting yourself get over the last person you were with before you go into the next relationship. And so if you continue running from yourself in those types of situations, like, you will literally just continue repeating the pattern, and then you'll start thinking like, oh, I'm cursed, I'm this, like, this is all everybody, like I only attract it. No, yes, you are only not necessarily attracting these types of people. You are attaching yourself to these types of people, or these types of jobs, or these types of bosses, or these types of situations. But it's because you don't want to face the pain and the wounding within you that is finding a sense of peace within that, a sense of familiarity. I guess that's what I'm saying, because it could be very chaotic, but it's familiar. It's familiar energy, like if you, for instance, grew up in a home where your father was emotionally unavailable, being with men who are emotionally unavailable, you're used to that. Like, you're used to it. And so you subconsciously seek out men that are emotionally unavailable, and then when it doesn't work out, it's like, well, I already knew he sucked anyway, yada yada yada. And like, but you're hurting. It's still triggering that like deep inner wound. And then because you don't know how to deal with that pain, then you will just go find somebody else to be with, and then start the cycle repeats. And then you're at the end of that, and then if you don't take accountability again, then the cycle will repeat and repeat, and it just keeps going on. It just keeps going on, and it's such a cyclical, negative cyclical way to live that's not serving you, and it's not helping you actually move forward. That's why there's people who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s who are still doing relationships and dating and attracting people like as if they were like teenagers, because they literally still are in that emotional mindset. Like, their emotional body is like stuck in the pain that they felt at that time, and they're continuing to project that out and attract in people that are matching that are confirming their beliefs. Oh, my dog. So yeah, so running from yourself, once you finally stop and you're like, okay, this is me, like, what do I need to address? Like, what about me is being attracted to men like this? Or what about me cannot like hold a job? Or what about me is staying in really friendships with women who are mean and catty and this and that? Like, what is familiar? Like, what about me like almost likes this? Like, what about me finds familiarity in this. And then once you start to dig deep, and not even that deep, it just becomes self-aware and start to do some inner work and work on yourself and understand the patterns that you're in, the cycles that you're in, you could finally leave them. You could finally break them. You could finally stop them. And those types of cycles and those types of people will still exist and they'll still be around, but you will not be a match for them anymore. You guys will just miss each other. Right now, you're like a match for them. It's like you go out, you literally attract them. But once you work on yourself and you heal your pain and you face your pain and you understand why you are the way you are, not even at the deepest level, but you just understand what you're doing, you're self-aware of what's going on, you will literally miss those situations. So it's accountability. And I think that is hard for a lot of people because then a lot of people are afraid of, oh, well, they don't want to be shamed or they don't want to take the blame or this and that. But it's like, do you like what you're doing more? Like, do you like still being in these negative situations that are toxic and harming and not allowing you to live the life that you want? Or would you rather just stop and be like, okay, I am the common denominator of this situation. Like, yeah, all my ex-boyfriends were crazy, but I keep dating them and I keep choosing men like that. So what is it about me that's attracted to these aspects and these types of men? And when you can really do that, and that's not just for relationships, it goes for all aspects of life. And when you can really do that and you could really look within and stop running from yourself and start running into yourself. Like, start looking within yourself, start doing the inner work and start healing yourself, you will literally not be a part of those cycles anymore. They just will cease to exist because you'll be healed in that aspect, and that type of lifestyle, those types of relationships, like I said, won't even be a match for you anymore. It won't even be a part of your story anymore because you're no longer running from yourself right into your pain. You're running from your pain, and your pain is imagine like you're wearing a backpack, and as you grow up through life and you go through traumatic experiences, toxic situations, and it's like all these pains stack on top, and it's like you're packing in your backpack. You're running from one relationship to the next with your backpack still full, and then to the next with your backpack still full. You have to stop and take off your backpack and unpack your backpack. And then once you can unpack the pain, unpack the trauma, unpack the bad situations, you're now moving along with a lighter load. And when you're moving along with a lighter load, you're not desperately making these rash decisions of being with these toxic people, this and that, because that doesn't fulfill you anymore. Like, that doesn't make you feel happy anymore. That doesn't like fill you up in the way that it did before. So yeah, inner work. Looking within, looking in the mirror, taking accountability and being like, how am I contributing to this situation? What within me is making it so that I am continuously attracting these types of people, being attracted to these types of jobs, staying in situations that I know that are not good for me, but I can't seem to escape because it's familiar, because it's normal. And I promise you, your life will get so much better. I literally ran in the same cycles. It wasn't until it was one point where I was just like, me and everybody around me were just literally going in cycles. We're literally going in circles, and like nobody seems to recognize it or understand it or like want to do anything about it. We all just keep complaining about each other to each other, but then still staying with each other. It was just a mess. And it wasn't until I started to do, like I said, the inner work and personal development and really work on myself, work on my self-love, realizing that I'm worthy as a person and that I don't need to involve myself with people like this, in situations like this, that my life really started to change. And not even just change, like skyrocket, like elevate now in the best way, to where I'm so at peace that I can't, my brain now can't even wrap my head around why, not why I would do that before, because I understand, but I can't, like my brain isn't even wired to think like, yeah, let me go do that. Like, let me go be with this toxic person. Let me go be in this toxic situation. Let me go repeat the same cycle over and over again and complain about why it's not changing. My brain doesn't even think like that anymore. So yeah, if you're interested in doing the inner work and wanting to heal your mind, heal your body, heal your soul, and you don't really know where to start, like you're really like, yes, I want to change, like I want to stop this cycle, I want to stop running from myself, check out my Empowered Self-Concept course. I'll link it below in the description. It is literally everything that I've done to get to this point of feeling so grounded within myself and not running from myself, not being afraid of my traumas, of my pains, of my past, and actually facing it so that moving forward, I can live a better, happier, healthier, just more fulfilled life in all aspects of life. So yeah, thanks guys for hanging out with me today and chatting with me about this. I will be back soon, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye.